be a young blood. These days you got young thugs.
See, you used to be a Crip, now you're a Blood. So I don't want no smoke with you. You got Bloods and Crips on your team.
Rap battles are supposed to have a limit. A couple of diss tracks, some slick talk in interviews.
Say that I'm a fake blood, I had a tongue ring, blonde hair, I can't rap, I'm this and I'm that.
Maybe an Instagram rant or two. But what happened between Young Thug and the game? That was different. It was real, personal, and on the edge of actual violence.
Young Thug reposted a picture of the game's daughter on Instagram after the Compton, California rapper shared photos of himself getting ice cream with her yesterday.
It started like so many other beefs in hip-hop. The Game, never one to bite his tongue, calling out Young Thug over his beef with Lil Wayne.
West side of this one. Anybody with you gotta follow me. I will Young Thug up on power.
Or maybe that was just an excuse to get back at Young Thug again. Before the Lil Wayne feud back in 2014, the internet went crazy, saying The Game and Young Thug got into a full-blown fight backstage at the BET Hip Hop Awards. This was supposedly because of their IG battles before the show, though the whole situation was de-escalated quickly. But the beef quickly got rekindled after The Game came at Young Thug in 2015, knowing Young Thug. He wasn't going to let that slide. A single video response set the stage for an all-out war. Threats, disrespect, and veiled warnings that felt a little too serious to be just rap bluff. But then things got downright sinister. Kids were dragged into it.
Didn't he post a picture of your daughter, and then you posted a picture of his daughter?
I don't think I posted a picture of his daughter.
No, you did. I remember
did
you did. Yeah, I think you did.
Threats turned into something far more scary. Fans weren't asking who won. They were asking who would survive. And just when everyone braced for the worst, something even stranger happened. Young Thug wished The Game's son a happy birthday.
Make sure you stay in school. Make sure you graduate. Make sure you bring your dad way much more than he ever thought about bringing you. And make sure you take care of your little sister, nigga. And first and foremost, last, which means best for last, make sure you take care of your mama and your dad.
It's surprising that a beef that started with a casual threat escalated to armed warnings, and then mysteriously got swept under the carpet. Let's talk about it. The whole beef started because Young Thug and Lil Wayne were at odds, a conflict fueled by Birdman's influence over Thugger. So let's start with that. Thugger idolized Wayne from the jump. Wayne and Wayne. I don't listen to nothing else, he once said, marveling at how Weezy could still rap every day despite already stacking hundreds of millions. He, however, said that Lil Wayne didn't like him.
But the biggest inspiration was Wayne. But the way that he got them greeted me. One time I dapped him up, this is how he dapped me. That one I'm like, hey, listen, bro. If I touch your hand again, I'm a hoe anyway. Right. I'm never touching your hand again.
At just 19, Thug predicted he'd one day sign to Young Money. That didn't happen, but he got close, linking up with Birdman, Wayne's longtime mentor turned nemesis. Birdman wasn't just a business partner to Thug. He was a father figure. A real dad, Thug said, a real father. And Birdman also acknowledged him.
I know he a big fan of Wayne. We embraced Thug as our little brother.
By 2014, the relationship between Birdman and Wayne was collapsing. Lil Wayne had been Birdman's golden child, his protege, the one who carried Cash Money Records on his back for over a decade. But now, Wayne and Birdman were in a public battle over money, album delays, and loyalty. Wayne was trying to drop Thaw Carter Fire, but Birdman wasn't letting it fly. Frustrated, Wayne sued Cash Money for $51 million and cut off everyone tied to Birdman, including Young Thug.
Any that had any problem from my son on down, and I gave him 50 million. I cleared it up, bro.
Then, in April 2015, Thug did the unthinkable. He announced Thaw Carter's 6th. He said he was picking up where Wayne left off, planning to do 6 through 10 since Wayne had 1 through 5. To Thug, this was homage. To Wayne, straight up mockery. Days later, Wayne addressed the situation at a show.
Also, before I go any further, I want y'all to understand that there's only one mother Carter. You need. Do me a favor, if y'all ever have Rich Gang or whoever it is in this motherfucker, y'all let them know I said.
And Thug immediately responded on Instagram claiming he'd never beef with Wayne. This my idol, he insisted. I would never in my life swap words with him.
I understand that Lil Wayne is frustrated about his career, and I feel him on that, but this is my idol. I wouldn't ever in my life swap words with him or beef with him about nothing.
Wayne wasn't convinced. At a release party, he shut it down again. Ain't no such thing as Carter 6th. Thug was forced to change the album's name to Barter 6 after legal threats, but he still threw gasoline on the fire, announcing his first show would be in Holly Grove, New Orleans, Wayne's backyard. He even dared Wayne to meet him there.
Yeah, YSL. Carter 6 coming out Friday, first show, New Orleans, Holly Grove. Meet me there, better yet, beat me there.
But when Thug hit the stage, Holly Grove booed him straight out of town. Meanwhile, on the same night, Wayne was performing in Atlanta, Thug City, and his tour bus got shot up on the highway. The police later arrested Jimmy Pee Wee Roscoe, a guy who had been in the background of Thug's Instagram videos flashing weapons. The connections were getting dangerous. That's when the game jumped in.
Wayne's tour bus got shot up,
Yeah.
so things were escalating.
I didn't like that.
According to the game, Wayne had his back from the moment he stepped into the hip-hop space. No hesitation, no conditions.
Man, I always got Wayne back. Wayne
Let me
always
tell you,
been
game
a
stands
good
up for
dude.
everybody. If you're a friend of game, it has nothing to do with game. He will stand up for you.
So when Young Thug started beefing with Wayne, when Wayne's tour bus got shot up, that crossed the line. The game wasn't having it.
I don't like nobody going at Wayne. That's my homie.
Does it bother you, like, because you know you from the West?
During a performance in New Orleans, he made his stance crystal clear. With the mic in his hand and fire in his voice, he threatened Young Thug. Anybody got a problem with Lil Wayne, they got a problem with me. I'll Young Thug up on Pyru, he declared, a warning that echoed through the hip-hop community. Thugger wasn't about to let that slide. He fired back on Instagram, mocking the game for his past as a and questioning his street credibility.
See, you used to be a Crip, now you're a Blood. So I don't want no smoke with you. You got Bloods and Crips on your team.
The game swiftly responded with a video of his own, lying in bed, smirking at the camera, calling Thug soft, ridiculing his painted nails, and questioning whether he was really about that life.
I just seen your little video. You paint your nails like a girl. You call your bae, and you keep around. Gonna drive by that nail shop and light that motherfucker up.
The internet ate it up. The back and forth was becoming the biggest rap beef of the moment. But as always with the game, things didn't stop at words. Within days, the game was on camera again, this time with a squad of his blood affiliates, warning Thug that this wasn't just rap, this was real life. He dared Thug to step to him in person, made it clear that the West Coast was off limits to him. The tension was thick, and in the streets, that usually means one thing: bloodshed. There were whispers of YSL and Pyru members clashing behind the scenes, of threats turning into actual moves, and Young Thug has a history of violence, and an alleged role as the head of YSL, a crew that the feds now classify as a full-fledged criminal organization. The crimes tied to YSL weren't just simple street fights or petty thefts. They were cold-blooded executions, armed robberies, and drug trafficking. They say Thug called the shots, handed out orders, and had the kind of pull that made people disappear. And his songs also had all the evidence. So this wasn't just music beef, this was the underworld, operating behind platinum plaques and sold-out shows. But shockingly, before things could truly spiral out of control, something unexpected happened. The beef just fizzled out. The game went silent. Thug moved on. Maybe it was a conversation behind closed doors. Maybe someone with real power shut it down before it got worse. The internet says it was Chicago OG Jojo Capone who stepped in. They say he got both of them on the phone and brokered peace. So on May 8th, 2015, Young Thug gets all brotherhood on social media, calling for unity in the black community. No more drama, no more pointless beef.
See, the way the world is set up, they want all blacks to kill each other, but we're not. Black lives matter. So I salute gang, I respect them. I'm sorry for making that post about him, you know, even though he was wrong.
And the game, who had been going at Thugger just weeks before, seemed to be on board. For a moment, the war was over. But one thing was for sure: Young Thug and the game weren't just two rappers talking tough. They were two men with real histories of violence, real connections to the streets, and real reasons to take this beyond words. Because soon after came the game's interview on The Breakfast Club. If there's one place guaranteed to dig up old dirt, it's this show. Charlemagne asked about the game's lack of recent rap beefs, and then the game smirked and said, "People don't really want to beef with me because if it gets real, then it's a problem." Okay, subtle flex. But then he took it further. He said he went to Atlanta when things got heated with Young Thug, basically implying he pulled up and made it real.
I went to Atlanta right after it started, and It got real.
And then, Charlemagne threw in his signature jab, and they'll be talking crazy at you with a dress on.
Is it hard dealing with these young rappers as an OG now?
No. Nah, they, you know.
Cause they're disrespectful.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they'll be talking crazy to you with a dress.
Boom, there it is. A not-so-slick shot at Young Thug's fashion choices, a favorite target for rap purists. And just like that, the beef was back. Young Thug wasn't going to just watch and do nothing. A few hours later, he hopped on Instagram calling out the game for capping on the interview.
I see this game capping the Charlemagne like you won't smoke. Well, you is not about that action. I'm uploading a video. You pussy boy.
But he didn't stop there. He had video proof, a FaceTime recording of the game apologizing, telling Young Thug, "It ain't even that deep, bro, my bad."
My bad. I really want to apologize. And it ain't nothing, man. So you know what it is, man. I got a lot of respect. We got too many motherfuckers before this all up in this shit. So it's all love, man.
And just like that, the game's tough guy narrative took a major hit. This was when the IG war started. The game wasn't about to take that kind of L without swinging back. Both rappers fired off post after post, each one messier than the last. The game doubled down on his threats. Thugger clowned him for backtracking. Fans ate it up. Blogs had a field day. But then, in a move that left even his own fans shocked, Young Thug dragged the game's daughter into the mix. Thugger posted a picture of Callie Dream, the game's then 5-year-old daughter, on Instagram.
I told you I'm scared.
There was no way this was gonna go unnoticed. The moment the post went up, the internet lost its mind. Even the most diehard Thug fans were confused. Was this strategy or just plain recklessness? The comments flooded in, people questioning what exactly Thug was trying to achieve. This beef just took a dark turn. If random fans were this provoked, you already know the game was about to explode. It didn't take long. Within hours, the game hit Instagram with his own post. This time it was Young Thug's own kid, and the caption was a straight-up warning shot. The internet completely caught fire. This wasn't rap anymore. This wasn't just trolling for clout. This was war. And now people weren't just laughing at the beef anymore, they were getting worried. Industry insiders started saying what everyone was thinking. This might not end on IG. Somebody needs to step in before this goes left. This is how things get deadly. Because just like Young Thug had dangerous street ties, the game was also a gang affiliate, a dude who had lived that life. So the streets were watching, and the streets never forget disrespect. The Instagram post was one thing. But then, the game took it a step further. He jumped on video, looking dead into the camera, sending a direct warning to Thugger. You must be out your mind. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't hyping himself up. He was dead serious. When you bring kids into this, you asking for something you can't handle.
It was like a new way of beef for me because I didn't know how to take it. I was like, is this a compliment or is this like dissing?
The message was crystal clear. Keep my daughter's name out of your mouth, or face the consequences. And at this point, nobody thought this was just rap talk anymore.
Say whatever you want about the game. Say whatever you want about Jason Terrell Taylor, you know what I'm saying? But don't put the reason that I breathe and the reason that I work and my inspiration for even living life out here in your records.
Even in an industry where beefs are entertainment, this was different. Rappers and fans alike were siding with the game on this one. Snoop Dogg weighed in, shutting it down with a simple statement. Kids off limits, period. T.I., who had worked with Thug, subtly called him out, posting, "Respect is everything." Even 50 Cent, the king of petty beefs, posted a cryptic message that seemed aimed at Thug. Some of y'all take this too far and don't even see the cliff. The consensus was unanimous. Young Thug had taken it too far. At this point, fans weren't even enjoying the drama anymore. It wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining. It was dangerous. So did Young Thug and the game squash it? Yes and no. After the kids got involved, both sides went quiet for a while. Maybe they realized they'd taken it too far. Maybe behind the scenes calls were made. Maybe OGs in the industry stepped in and told them to chill before it got ugly. But one thing was certain. This was the moment the beef went from petty to dangerous. For a while, the tension simmered under the surface. No more wild threats, no more Instagram stunts. After the family drama, both sides seemed to take a step back. Then came 2016. Out of nowhere, Young Thug did something that nobody saw coming. He sent a birthday message to the game's son, Harlem. pause, let's rewind. This is the same Young Thug who dragged the game's daughter into their beef just a year prior. The same guy who had fired off countless threats, mockeries, and insults. And now he's sending birthday wishes. It wasn't just a generic happy birthday either. Thugger went full wholesome mode. Make sure you stay in school, take care of your mama and your daddy. What? Fans didn't know how to process this. Was this Thug trying to wave the white flag? Again, a sneaky backhanded move meant to keep the beef alive in a weird way? Or was he genuinely trying to make things right? Nobody could tell. But one thing they could tell was that this wasn't normal. Hip-hop beefs don't just end like this. There's either a real-life sit-down, a public apology, or at the very least some kind of obvious resolution. But this, a birthday message to an enemy's kid, it felt strange. And what made it even crazier? The game actually responded. No shots fired, no angry videos, no Instagram threats. Instead, he posted a message that sounded like, against all odds, he was letting it slide. I appreciate the love for my son, he wrote. Simple, direct, no extra words. The hip-hop world was shook. Was the game actually accepting this? Did this mean the war was over? Some fans believed it, others weren't buying it. It was later that the internet revealed that there was a reconciliation that wasn't really publicized, and this was because Birdman got involved.
It was Birdman, man. Birdman came. Birdman was like, you know what's happening? You know this is, you know. Playboy. Birdman was just like, yeah, Playboy, you know, his family.
For the game, Birdman was part of the same ecosystem that had given him a shot, the same machine that had built Lil Wayne into the legend he was. So he said when Birdman called, it wasn't a suggestion, it was a mandate. Playboy, this family, we not doing this. And that was it. Just like that, the energy shifted. The game and Young Thug got on the phone. And what might have been a drawn-out war dissolved into nothing more than a conversation.
I seen Thug a video and shit. I think it take a real to apologize and dead some shit. I think the next phase is getting him and Tune buried, cause Tune my and then getting Tune and Birdman to settle their shit and get back to getting their money.
No threats, no posturing, just two artists realizing that maybe, just maybe, the streets had enough problems without them adding fuel to the fire. After the dust settled, the two did what only real MCs do after reconciliation. They made music.
We ended up just, you know, squashing that shit, and then we did a record to, you know, make sure that it was, you know, mended on wax.
The track itself was not some grand moment, just two artists spitting their truth, flexing, showing the world that at the end of the day, it's all about the craft. That's how hip-hop has always worked. Words might start a war, but they can just as easily end one. But let's be honest, the game is one of the most unpredictable figures in hip-hop. One day, he's talking peace. The next, he's on the Breakfast Club reminding the world that he never actually apologized. Beef isn't just something that he stumbles into. It's part of his brand. His history reads less like a rapper's discography and more like a battle record. 50 Cent? Check. Meek Mill? Check. Jay-Z? Check. Even NBA stars and reality TV personalities have felt the heat of his words. Young Thug was just another name on a long list of rivals. Another chapter in a career built on confrontation. And here's the thing. He thrives on it. From the moment he stepped into the industry, the game positioned himself as the rebel, the loose cannon who wouldn't play by the rules. His feud with 5 Cent and G-Unit in the mid-2000s fueled his career.
You wanna know why? Because 50 can't rap, and so I gotta go a level up and challenge the better rapper.
What the hell's going on? Bro, look, you suck, bro.
Diss tracks, street confrontations, and even real violence followed in its wake. And that was just one battle. Over the years, he's gone after everyone from Joe Budden to Lil Durk to Tekashi 6 Inks 9 Iony, never shying away from an opportunity to remind the world that he's always ready for war. So when Young Thug appeared on his radar, it was business as usual. It's only surprising that it was dissolved before it escalated into a full-blown war. But the irony of it all? Just when the beef had faded, Young Thug found himself in a different kind of war. The kind you can't settle with a phone call or a track. The kind where the system, not your rivals, is the enemy. The YSL RICO case had exploded, turning his world upside down. Prosecutors were calling YSL a criminal organization, linking Thug to everything from drug trafficking to violent crimes.
2 Billboard-topping Atlanta-based rappers Young Thug and Gunna have been indicted in Georgia in a wide-ranging criminal investigation.
His music, his lyrics, his very image, all of it was being weaponized against him in a courtroom battle that could determine whether he ever saw freedom again. His legal troubles weren't just career-threatening, they were life-altering. It took more than a year just to seat a jury, and when the YSL RICO trial finally kicked off in November 2023, it came with a witness list of 737 names. If convicted, Young Thug was looking at decades behind bars. The Game, for all his past smoke with Thug, knew what time it was. Industry beef is one thing, but watching another black man get caught up in a system designed to break him, that's different. That's bigger than music, and that's why, despite everything, The Game didn't hesitate to speak for him, saying in an interview, "Free Slime," when Young Thug was in custody, still facing trial.
First of all, free slime. You know what I'm saying? I hate to see anybody locked up in those type of situations.
Because while hip-hop might be built on competition, it's sustained by something deeper. A brotherhood, however fragile. A respect that, even after all the diss tracks and Instagram shade, still stands. The Game didn't have to back Thug. He could have stayed quiet, let the headlines run their course, let the world forget. But he didn't, because he understood that hip-hop is a battlefield, but real ones don't celebrate when the other side takes a loss they can't come back from. Loyalty matters, respect matters, and knowing when to walk away from a fight, that might just matter the most.